This is a training session for using the emailing into the portfolio function. This function has a center switch, and by default, any user that emails into the portfolio has to process their own email. The function is available for learners and assessors, so if a learner emails in, it will land on their to-do tab for them to process. If an assessor emails in, it will land on their to-do tab for them to process. That's the default switch. If none of your learners in your centre access the portfolio at all, you can arrange to have the switch altered so that any email that the learner submits will go straight to the assessor's homepage and not to their own. This can't be done on an individual basis, on a learner by learner or even email by email basis. It's all the learner's emails to the assessor or all of the emails from the learner to the learner's to-do tab. The first thing that you should do as an assessor is go to your personal details tab and scroll all the way down to the bottom. For this function to work, the email address that you have recorded down here has to be the email address that you send your email from into the ePortfolio. If this email address in here is your work email and you're using a device which has got a personal email on there, it's easier to change the email address in here to your personal one so that any email that you send from your phone or your iPad, your tablet, etc., if it's coming from a personal email address, then it's easy to change it in here to your personal address. If you send the email from a device whereby the email is not recorded in here correctly, or it has a different email address in here, you will get a rejection email from the ePortfolio to say that the email has not been delivered. So once the personal details tab has been completed so that it's got the correct email in there, you then can compose your email. The email is going to an address which is portfolio@vqmanager.co.uk. So it's just a normal email address, but it's the ePortfolio's email address. It knows that I'm sending this from Karen and North at skillwise.net, so it will receive this email from me. Top tip, always in the subject field include the name of your learner. This makes things easier when you're processing it when you're in the ePortfolio. If you're using this particular feature a lot of times, especially in a day, you need to know who this particular email relates to, because otherwise when you open up the ePortfolio, you'll have to open up each and every email and attachment in order to establish who the learner is. So it's much easier to just write it in the subject line. So anything in the subject line will go in the description of evidence. Anything that's in the actual email itself will go further down the page, and any attachments will also be included. So when we're emailing into the ePortfolio, we complete all aspects of the email as far as we possibly can and then press send. The email will arrive on the to-do tab, and it will be in a section called Emails Awaiting Further Processing. As we can see here, we've got a subject field which was the title of the email, and we've got the attachments that were attached to the email as well. We can see here instantly this is Krista's professional discussion, so we don't need to open it and have a look at it. But this one, which just says test, we've got no idea which learner this relates to because we haven't put it in the title of the email. So we'd actually have to open up this document to find out who it belongs to and then attach it to the correct learner. So that's just the reason why it's easier if you put the name of the learner in the title of the email. You have several options to process when you're doing your emails. It may be a piece of evidence, in which case you would process it as a piece of evidence. It could be something that you just wish to attach to the activity log, something like a CV, job description, anything like that. It could be a new progress review if you're using progress reviews in the ePortfolio, or it could be an existing progress review, and a progress review is one that maybe has been set up by your centre administrator to occur every 12 weeks or every 10 weeks for each and every learner. So you have 4 options in respect of what to do with this particular email. If you select Evidence and then Process, an Log Evidence page appears. Select the learner that you're working with and the title of the email, the body of the email, and any attachments automatically pull through to this form. As an assessor, what's left for you to do is select the method by which this particular piece of evidence was gathered, map it to any criteria in any of the qualifications below, and then write your assessor comments in this area here. And then save and submit for verification if this piece of work is complete. If there's something else that needs doing to it, you need to return it to your learner. At this point, you can still return to the learner for action, or you can save and continue later if you want to come back to this piece of work a little bit later on. So very quickly, you can process that email into a piece of evidence. The principle is the same if you want to process it as an activity log. So instead of selecting evidence, you select learner activity log and then process, and then it takes you to an activity log form. Again, you select the learner for who this is. If you wish to change the category, you can. Any of these fields here, as were in the evidence area, are completely configurable so that you can add any information to any of the areas here. You can add additional documents as well as if you wish. If this is actually complete, because everything on the email was done intact, you would then just select Save, and then that particular email will be saved as an activity log. If you're using progress reviews, the first option, New Progress Review, Process, looks virtually the same as the activity log area. Again, you just select the learner to which this progress review is relevant to, and then we can see today's date has defaulted into the planned and actual date because this is a new progress review that we're creating. You can forward date, back date, either of those dates as you wish. Again, your attachments there, and if you want your learner to confirm that they've seen this, and also the line manager to confirm that they've seen this, then you can select either of those by putting a tick in the box there, and then save, and then this will be saved as a new progress review and will be located in the My Learners Progress Review tab. If you're attaching it to an existing progress review that has been preset by your centre administrator, you would just select the existing progress review tab, and then you would select the learner to which this refers to, and then you would find the relevant progress review that you would like this particular information attached to. So here we go, and here's our attachment again, and save. So it's a very quick way of getting the information into the ePortfolio. The principle of emailing into the ePortfolio is identical for the learner. When the learner is processing it in the To Do tab, they only have 2 options. They only have evidence and activity log. They don't have the options to process anything as a progress review because that is an assessor function and not a learner one. The information around this particular feature can also be located in the support area of the website. So skillwise.net, support, and then we've got resources for all users. If we look at the tutors or assessors area, there is a document in here called Emailing Items into VQManager. And this is a Word document that you can work through, which just shows you the email address that you need to send it to, how you change information in the personal details, and how you process it. If any of your learners are sending emails directly to you, so the center switch has been altered, the information will come in this particular table here. Emails received from the learner awaiting further processing. So if the switch has been switched so that any email the learner sends goes directly to the assessor, this is the table that they will appear in. If the switch has remained at the default, anything that the learner emails in will go to their own home page and they process it and then forward it on to you in the normal way. If it comes in this table, the principle is exactly the same. You've got evidence and you've got learner activity log, whichever of those the learner wishes you to process those as. Again, it won't ever be a progress review because the learner doesn't create those for you. So in the support area for the candidate, there is also a document in here which is called emailing evidence into the VQManager. So for the learners, they can come here and look at this particular document, or as I said previously, for the assessors, they too have a document in the assessors area. Thank you.